Right. Hello everyone. Welcome to Python tutorial again on solving quadratic equations. So let's go ahead and we'll be um, solving quadratic equations. Um, we'll kind of build like a calculator for that. So first we'll begin by importing a module that helps us handle some of the complex roots. So I'm going to import a module called CMath, and then we're going to write the actual function. So let's write the function, which is, let's call it solve quad equation. And so there will be three parameters here. So the three parameters would be A, B, and C. Okay, so you'll see in a little bit right here. So let's say whenever we'll be solving quadratic equation of the form ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. And that's how we extract our A, B, and C. Okay, and so that's our starting here. And so first of all, we need to calculate. So in this, we'll use the quadratic formula. Okay, and for that, we need to first calculate the discriminant. So let's call it I'll just call it discriminant. So to find the discriminant, we're going to use the CMath module and get the square root function from CMath math module, which will allow us to have the complex roots dealt with, right? And so the discriminant is, remember, if you remember that from your algebra class, it's b squared minus 4ac, right? It's that part of the quadratic formula. So we have b squared, sorry, meant to say, b squared minus 4 times a times c. Okay, so b squared 4 times a times c, and then so that's our discriminant. And then so this will calculate the discriminant, and then what we're going to do from there is we are going to calculate two roots. Remember, on the quadratic formula we have plus and minus, right? So that means you have the positive and the negative root. So let's call it root 1, which is going to be negative b. So the quadratic formula, negative b plus and minus square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. So we'll take part of that. So we already have taken care of the discriminant. So we just have to have that negative b plus discriminant, take that square root part. Discriminant, I'll make sure that I spell that correctly right there. So you could have like named this something a little different if it's easier for you to track here. And then we have that divided 2 times a, and then we're just gonna copy that for the next one and then change the sign here. So this will be our second root, and instead of plus we're going to have the minus version. Okay, so this will give our two roots. So we're going to return root 1 and root 2. So this will return our roots, which is basically going to be our solution of those quadratic. And then, so let's look at an example. So example usage. So we will for that, let's build our prompt, right, for the for us to actually be able to enter those three parameters. So I'll call it acof float input enter the coefficient of x squared, okay, which is in this case a. All right, and then I'm just gonna copy that, and we're going to have, instead of acof, it's gonna be b, and the coefficient of not x squared, but it's the coefficient of x, and that's going to be our b. And then we are going to have a c, which is our constant, okay. And actually I'm going to copy that same thing so that I don't have to type everything once again. And then instead of coefficient, it's the constant term c, okay. And then so this will prompt the user to enter those three parameters, and then we'll print our roots, which are our solution. So we're going to call that function we built up there. So solve quad equation, and then we're going to enter our coefficients here. So a coef, b coef, and then c constant, okay. And then that will read those three constant, not just read those, enter those three constant into our function that we built, and then it will output the roots, and then we're just going to print out those roots. So print roots, and then we need to actually call it roots because that's what we have here. And then you can just go ahead and we can just go ahead and run that with an example. So let's look at a simple quadratic equation. So I'm going to choose x squared minus 3x plus 2 is equal to 0. So x squared in that case, if it's just x squared, the coefficient would be just 1. And then it's minus 3x, so our b would be negative 3. And then our c would be 2. Okay, and our c would be 2. And then you enter these, and there is a problem. So what did I do? Oh, so I did something wrong here. So what I'm gonna do is, instead of doing b squared, I can just do b times b, which is also b squared. So let's rerun this. And then we have 1, negative 3, and positive 2. So once you enter those, now you have your the roots. So 2 and positive 1. So positive 1 and positive 2 is your solution of this quadratic equation. That so the example usage, so actually let me write that quadratic equation that I talked about. So minus 3x plus 2 is equal to 0. So that's our quadratic equation that we just solved using this code. And so whenever you saw this right here, just be aware that this does not mean that so whenever you see 0j, that means we don't have the complex term here. We don't have anything with the complex solution, right? And so if you see something other than 0, then you need to consider that, oh, you might have a complex solution. Okay. All right. So yeah, that was, I hope that helped. with Python, quadratic equation in Python, solving quadratic equation in Python. And so thank you for watching, and please don't forget to like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more Python math related tutorials. Thank you.